Hello, fam. Iona Renee, your host. Welcome to Domesticated Me 2.0. Encouraging words, energy, love, positivity, perceptions. On this loving show, Domesticated Me 2.0. Good morning, fam. Domesticated Me, Iona Renee here. Happy New Year's, everyone. Happy New Year's. Let's start this New Year's off right. So, as you can see from the title, I just want to talk about the art of forgiveness. What I truly believe the art of forgiveness is and where the art of forgiveness begins. And this stems from a conversation that I had with someone earlier today, where she said an individual asked her, told her that they didn't know how to forgive. They didn't know how it was, how to forgive a person. And so she said, well, I'll pray on it, and because I don't know what answer to give you. And then I said, well, from my take, I could tell you what I would have told the person. I would tell the person to forgive themselves. That's the very first step to forgiveness. And I know a lot of you guys might be listening to me right now and saying, what do you mean by forgive myself? Well, you have to start within. We've talked about this over and over on this show, and everything in life begins within you. Everything. If you deal with you, it's the best thing that you can do, is to deal with you first. And once you deal with you, the outside forces, they get the best of you. And so I'm going to tell you as simply as this. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for the regret that you hold on to, the regret of the things that you've done, that you felt were wrong, the regret of the missteps that you made, that you felt you should have went a different way. Forgive yourself for getting in those relationships that you felt were no good for you, and you told yourself, and you keep asking yourself, why did you put yourself through that? Begin to forgive yourself for anything that you've been holding on to, the resentment for anything that you've done. And when you begin there, it is very easy to forgive other people. It's very easy because you begin to see them for who they are. They're no different than you. They make errors, they make mistakes. Their intentions may even be pure at the time that they're making these mistakes or doing these things to you. Or, maybe they're not, but they're just them. It's their spirit. It's who they are. We're all spiritual beings living a human experience, right? So that means that we're gonna go a certain path, and it might not always be the same path. Forgive yourself for your judging behavior when you're judging other people, because we're not all the same. We're built in the image of the Creator. We're built in the image of the Creator, and that Creator has created us all for the big picture. So the art of forgiveness begins with self-forgiveness. It begins with looking at yourself, wondering how and why you attracted that behavior. How and why, what is in you that needed that lesson? We hear it all the time that you go through things to strengthen you. And, sometimes we're like, oh, I'm tired of being strengthened. I don't want to go through anything else. But you're going to continue as you evolve through life to go through something for your next step. Everything is placed in our lives for a reason. The good, the bad, the ugly, the indifferent. It's all for you. It's all for your growth. It is all to strengthen you. And what you get out of it, and how you recognize what is inside of you, and what you begin to need to deal with and forgive yourself for, is the best thing that you can do. Deal with you, and that is the best thing that you can do. Now, when it comes to others' behaviors that you believe that you were wronged, you're not forgiving them for them. You're also forgiving them for you, because you're able to let go. You're able to let go of the ought. You're able to let go of the anger. Because if you have anger, ought for another person, that you can give that. You can say, oh no, I don't give anger. Yeah, if you have it to give, you will give it. May not be at the same level. And that's what's wrong, I think, with us humans, is that we will place things on levels. When you learn as a child, especially if you're a believer in Christ, that there's no big sin and there's no little sin. But we learn as humans to separate it. We learn as humans to say, well, if you steal a piece of candy, that's okay. But if you rob a bank, oh, that's horrible. But when you look at it, stealing is stealing, regardless on what level you're doing, because guess what? You have stealing in your spirit. So the same with a lie. There's no such thing as a little white lie, because if you have lies in your spirit, that means you'll lie. You know, my grandma used to say, if you're a lie, you'll steal. If you'll steal, you'll kill. And that was the traction. So don't hold people accountable on little tiny things that you've put on levels. You know, you said, okay, well, I don't do it to that extent. So why did a person overdo it to me? Well, it doesn't matter, because the energy that is inside of you, it could be a little amount of energy or a big amount of energy. You're going to get back what you put out in the earth. You're going to get it back. And it might not even look the same. I think we've been here before on this show, but I'm telling you, it might not look the same. It might look different. I had a friend of mine tell me, you know, his friend is very petty, very, very petty. And I said, well, and that's all he gets is pettiness, pettiness, pettiness. I said, well, you must be petty too. I'm not petty. I'm this, I'm that. I said, well, trust me. If this pettiness is showing up in your life all the time, you're petty. And who you're petty to might not be that individual. You might be loving on that individual and giving that individual your all, but you're petty in another way somewhere down the line that you don't recognize it, because you don't want to recognize it. You only want to recognize what's happening with you at the time it's happening to you. But I'm going to tell you, guys, start with you. Start with you. Make yourself a deal today. Make yourself a deal today that you will forgive yourself for everything that you believe went wrong in your life. Everything, every misturn you believe you made. Forgive yourself for it. Forgive yourself for the time that you got in that relationship that was no good for you. Forgive you for the time that you thought you was getting over on somebody and you really wasn't, and it's still bothering you, it's still deeply embedded in you. Forgive yourself for that. And then go out and ask for forgiveness. Yes, ask for forgiveness from those who you need to ask forgiveness for. Even those who you believe owe you. They owe you an apology. They need to recognize the art that they've put out into the world that has consumed your world right now. You might say, no, I'm not consumed by what others do to me. You are consumed by what others do to you if you're still regretting, if you're still holding on to unforgiveness. You are consumed. You are consumed. I'm going to tell you, it was a time in my life where I had to forgive somebody for something. And at the same time, I needed to ask for forgiveness. And this is a story I tell often. And you know, forgive me if I'm telling it again, but sometimes I do. But I called the person up, and This person normally did not answer the phone for me. This is how deep this relationship was when we broke up and we went our separate ways. But this particular time, he answered. And when he answered, I said, I'm calling to seek your forgiveness. I would like for you to forgive me. And I forgive you for everything that you've done. I know I wasn't an angel in the situation. And so I really would like for you to extend that same forgiveness back to me. This person did not say one word back to me. Not one. Then I said goodbye. But after I said goodbye, I felt so much relief. I felt like one of them cartoon characters that go and I'm going to tell you, it felt so good for me just to get it off my chest. And my blessings, this is how come I know non-forgiveness is a blessing blocker. For myself, I had to forgive myself, and I had to forgive him. Started pouring in. I would not lie. They started pouring in. I got a raise on my job. I got elevated. I ended up with my new home. Just about a year or so later after that. I mean, everything just began to line up because I let go of something that I had no business holding on to in the first place. It didn't even make a difference. I needed to forgive myself. I needed to love myself. I needed to show love to this individual who I thought I would never, ever, ever like again. But not only to this day do I like this individual, I love him for everything that he taught me, every experience we went through. And I can stand in his face, give him a hug and everything, even though at that moment, I never saw how I would ever be able to forgive some of the hurt I believe was on him until I realized it was really on me. And so really, guys, what I'm here to say is the art of forgiveness is you beginning with you. It's the same as the art of love. It's you beginning with you. So let's begin with you in mind. With you in mind. And go out and do some forgiving today. Thank you so very much, everybody. And if you like the content, go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and hit the like button. Let's really have fun this 2777. That's what I'm calling it, 2777. It's 2021. And I'm so excited for 2021. I'm excited for us. I'm excited for the energy that I'll receive. I'm excited for the energy that I'm allowed to return to you guys. So I just want you guys to have a fabulous day out there. And you know what? Make it great because it's up to you. You make your day. Don't let your day make you. Like, subscribe, share. See you next time. Domesticated Me.